Legendary updates, a music video, and dodgeball. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, May 14th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Big thing happening this week is Mass Effect Legendary Edition is upon us. For those who haven't played Mass Effect like myself, I've been looking at all the guides and tips and tricks and things I should be looking into before I get into it. Actually, I haven't picked up Mass Effect Legendary Edition again. My slate is starting to fill up, so I'm going to probably wait on this one, but if you're not playing anything right now, then this might be the game to pick up. I was really surprised by a 90 Metacritic, which I think is more of a testament to how good these games were back when they came out, rather than, you know, potentially the additions or anything like that. So it still got reviewed. It's still got a 90 Metacritic. I'll have a link down below to all of the reviews, or the review roundup at least. But yeah, I'm really surprised by that 90 number. Like I've said before, kind of my typical rule for, you know, when you should probably drop everything and pick up a game. Like, obviously, if it's 100, you should probably play this game if you like video games. But 90 is usually about that cutoff where I'd probably want to play it. So this one's definitely jumped a few points in priority on my list of games to play. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And like I've said, I'm a little bit, I might have to turn in my gamer card, but I haven't played any of the Mass Effect games, or at least any of the original trilogy. I did pick up Andromeda and then immediately put it down like everyone else. So I am looking kind of forward to checking out Mass Effect and what all the hype was about back in the day. And, you know, maybe get a little bit of rose-tinted glasses for BioWare in its heyday. So looking forward to picking it up, but I haven't picked it up yet. But if you've picked it up, convince me down below to pick it up sooner rather than later. I talked about a music video in that cold open. I'm really interested. This week had some fun. There was some teasing about Katy Perry kind of doing a collab with Pokemon and what that would involve. It definitely, in the original image, kind of had the Pikachu tail in there, and that's what we got. We got Katy Perry singing a song, Electric, about about kind of believing in your dreams. It definitely had the very like Pokemon, like you can be the best kind of feel to it. So I'm wondering if they had more than just like hey, we'll give you Pikachu, all you have to do is include Pikachu in your video. If there was actually some kind of more collaboration than just images and stuff. It also included Pichu, which I had like this weird, watching it, I had like this weird mix of like, is she talking to herself in the past because they got like another blonde hair, blue-eyed girl to, like, you know, she inspire her to be a singer. It's a pretty catchy tune. So feel free to check that out. I'll have a link down below to Katy Perry's new Electric music video. I'm excited about it. It's one of the few times I'll probably ever talk about music videos and video games in the same sentence. So let me know what you think of the music video down below in the comments. In a strange turn of event, EA is giving away Knockout City for the first 10 days, or I shouldn't say giving away. I think it is more of a like free trial. So the game is launching on May 21st, and for the next 10 days after it launches, up until May 30th, the game will be available to play for free. So if you haven't already played it on a free weekend or in a demo, you can wait until the game launches, which is just a week away, and you'll be able to play it with your friends and check it out. I feel like that's more of a way for me to convince my friends to get into something, to say, hey, it's free for the week, let's try it out. I think we did the same thing with Destruction All-Stars, or at least they did. I didn't really pick up Destruction All-Stars, but it's an interesting way. I definitely think there might be more cons than there are pros to this, but hopefully they can get kind of a good player base of people who played it for free and are willing to invest in whatever the price is. And I don't actually know the price, so let me know how much or I'll probably Google right after this how much Knockout City is actually going to be. But for the first 10 days, it's free to you and me, so let's check it out. Destiny 2's Season of the Splicer is upon us, and the one thing that everyone is commenting about is the new transmog system. For those of you who don't know, Transmog is just like being able to, you know, make one piece of armor look like another piece of armor, but still keep the stats of the old piece of armor. As you kind of level up in any RPG system, you know, you're gonna want to get bigger and better stats, but sometimes you want to make your outfit match or look right. So this is a feature that people have been asking for at least since Destiny 2, if not earlier, is just an ability to make my gear look like one other piece of gear, but not worry, you know, but still give me the stats I need. Otherwise, that's why you end up with people just running around like robes and a skull on, because that's the kind of, you know, it's the best gear they can get their hands on. Or you're really excited for when you actually get that matching set, which makes everything look all the better. But now you can do this transmog system. The problem is the time commitment to it. There's also a financial thing. You have to grind like 2 or 3 nightfalls in order to get kind of the resources you need to be able to transmog something. And then it seems like for each piece of gear, it takes like 5 to 8 hours or so. I think that I might be roughing the math a little bit, but like, you know, some of the articles I read, like for a whole suit of armor, it takes like 25 hours to kind of go through the whole system, which I think for something people wanted to be like quick and easy and something I could do kind of in a flash, people were not expecting it to take, besides investing time to get the resources, it also just takes time to execute, which seems like a pretty dumb decision. But you know, hopefully Bungie kind of dials that back a little bit, because it's definitely upsetting their user base. And if your Destiny 2 fans are gonna upset with the new season already, which pretty standard for season rollouts, hopefully they kind of dial that back and people can get on with making finishing up the friend game and making all their loot match, because everyone knows the most important part about Destiny besides the friend game is the fashion game. So hopefully we can get better fashion game quicker sometime soon. Ubisoft claims that 2 of the big titles that they have coming up this year are due to come out before September. I don't know quite if I trust this, because 2021 has been just as unpredictable as 2020, especially for how things have been delayed. At least Ubisoft is talking about what's coming out for them in the future, so I'm excited about that. They said that the 2 games that are coming out before September are going to be Rainbow Six Quarantine, which has never had a date to the best of my knowledge, and then Far Cry 6 was pushed off of, I believe, May of this year into some unknown time. So I always kind of felt that these were the ones that were closest to coming out. So hopefully we get them both before September, but I definitely am curious about whether or not that's going to be, because it's already May. No games usually come out in like June or July timeframe, so is it going to be like early August, which might or might not be a good time depending on what you think of the games industry during that time. So maybe by before September they mean in September, and you don't want both of them coming out around the same. I mean, I don't think the audiences would be the same, and there's probably not a lot of cross-pollination, but I think people, you know, gamers are going to want to play both. So both are first-person shooters, so there's some audience overlap there, and you wouldn't want them both coming out within a couple weeks of each other. So yeah, I say claim. I'm standing by the fact that they are claiming that this is going to happen before September. I can definitely see both of them coming out by end of year, but September kind of just seemed like an arbitrary date. Probably, you know, the first half financial year or something like that, because they have to meet financial numbers. So that's kind of where I saw the date coming in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not quite sure where things will land, but hopefully we get both. I'm excited for Rainbow Six Quarantine, giving me kind of that Left 4 Dead itch to scratch, and then I played Far Cry 5, and I'm really excited for Far Cry 6, and Giancarlo Esposito as the main bad guy. I'm hoping that he really kind of sells it and chews up the scenery or every scene that he's in. So I'm excited for both of those games. So I'm glad that they are the ones that are coming out the soonest of all of you Ubisoft slate. One of my favorite children to check in on is the VR industry. We had some pretty big VR news. HTC Vive is coming out with a second one, so the HTC Vive Pro 2 is coming out with minor details on what kind of spec changes you're getting with the new headset. It's going from between the HTC Vive Pro 1 and the HTC Vive Pro 2, you're going from 4K resolution to 5K resolution, you're going from 90, or the refresh rate is 90 hertz to 120. The field of view is also increasing by like 10 degrees from 110 to 120. Not to bore you with all the details, but I thought those kind of specs were really relevant. I have the full specs down below, linked down below. The big thing that kind of caught my eye was the price point. So just for the headset, it is $750. And if you don't already have like the docking station and the controllers, if you need all of that right now, that'll cost you $1,400 plus the PC to up and run it. Now, I know HTC has always kind of been positioning itself as the premier VR experience, like the one with the highest specs and all that kind of stuff. But as we've seen with like the Go, have you seen with like the Oculus Rift, Go and all that kind of stuff, or the Oculus headsets, people want untethered and they want cheap in their VR experience. So I'm really surprised that they're kind of coming out at that price point. I know, like I said, I know that they're kind of setting themselves up as the premier VR experience, and having experienced the HTC Vive Pro 1, I did think that like this felt like the more premier experience. But I don't know. I'm not going to put $1,400 into buying this thing just to get it up and running. So I'm always been eyeing the new Oculus, the $300 Oculus rig, or potentially a PlayStation 1, which I already have a system that it'll work with. So I really think that price point is very high. People are definitely going to raise their eyebrows, and hopefully that gets brought down to a more reasonable price. But I don't think people are going to spend $1,400 getting into VR, plus the expense of building a whole PC that can run it all. So people want cheap, people want untethered, and I don't think that this is really giving the experience to the people who want it. So it'll probably sell few, if any, but I definitely think that's a little high. Microsoft is celebrating Halo's 20-year anniversary. They're starting, it's not exactly 20 years. Halo came out in November of 2001. I had to look that up beforehand, but it's only May right now, but this is the kind of 20-year anniversary. They're celebrating it with mugs, a t-shirt, and some throw pillows. So if you want to sleep with your face on Master Chief's face, you can go ahead and do that. That's actually a thing I was most likely to buy, of like the t-shirts and mugs, that the throw pillow would kind of look funny and cool. Man, I kind of really am interested in the 20-year stuff. I'm excited for it. I've been a Halo fan my entire life. Always been an Xbox fan. I'm unapologetic Microsoft fanboy. So I'm really excited about 20 years of Halo, and it's definitely flashing me back to like LAN parties and playing Halo on Blood Gulch and all that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely excited for this, and let me know if you pick up anything to commemorate your Halo 20-year anniversary celebration. If I speak about Microsoft, I have to talk about Sony. Sony had some pretty big news this week with the DualSense coming out with 2 new colors. So rather than having the ever impossible to keep clean white PlayStation 5 controllers, you will now have 2 more options in a nice sleek black controller. And they also had a pretty cool kind of like a little deeper red, like closer to like a mauve kind of red, or at least that's what the pictures kind of look like with the blue background. So I think both of those are really cool. I really want to have an official PlayStation matching faceplate that I can switch out. But I'll have to settle for potentially getting a black or red controller sometime in the future, because these white ones, I like take alcohol wipes to them constantly to keep them clean. Because you're sweating and things get gross. Controllers get gross. Clean your controllers. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Couch Soups. New Worlds, Amazon's MMO, is finally showing off a big gameplay trailer this week. There was about 15 minutes of gameplay. I definitely enjoyed what I saw. I don't know how interested I would be in an MMO in my life. I feel like most people, I'm kind of MMO'd out. So, but this one kind of intrigued me, kind of switching between melee combat, and because it's kind of set in like a colonial theme. So like melee combat and then like your musket or rifle or something. It definitely seemed interesting, and like, you know, definitely had all the typical MMO feels of like healing bubbles and all that kind of stuff going off. So I was actually kind of surprised. I just had to laugh at, like, you know, Amazon's had a pretty bad track record of releasing games, and I believe this is still set to come out in. Is it still set for June? Even though they pushed, I feel like they pushed that out. So, so we're at least at the point where we're allowed to see kind of a vertical slice, 15 minutes of gameplay. So hopefully it's in the right state that we'll be able to see this sometime soon. But like I said, Amazon's had a pretty bad track record of late. Last but certainly not least, we got a nice, a pretty cool roguelike from Konami this week called Getsu Fuma Den. I probably said that completely wrong, so don't hate me in the comments. Undying Moon. It's a 2D platformer roguelike with kind of an emphasis on weapon play. It kind of reminds me of like Dead Cells, where you're gonna like constantly switch out weapons as they drop from enemies. But the weapons seem to have a little bit more kind of a more stat play, and your fight scheme will definitely significantly change based on kind of the weapon, based on kind of like the weapon you pick up at the time. So yeah, I thought it looked really good, and like the art style was very, very like a very iconic kind of Eastern art style that I really liked. So I know that roguelikes and roguelites are a dime a dozen nowadays, but this one definitely looked like it had some polish and care put into it, and I'm pretty excited for it. So hopefully I can see more of it sometime soon. That's it for the week. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description to all of my socials. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super week. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!